Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Pilgrims Passing Through Ministries. Today we're going to be making some sweet potato pudding. Just one actually, and that's a way to control portions. And so I'm going to show you the things that we'll need to make this sweet potato pudding. We're going to try to go through with it as fast as possible. All right, hopefully you can see. There we go. All right, so sweet potatoes are the main ingredients. We're going to need some baking powder, some cinnamon, some vanilla, rose water. I'm going to be putting in some Psyllium husks. Typically, that's not in there, but I'm trying to add more fiber, salt, butter, and usually we add another ground provision. This is yucca or sweet cassava. You can use yam, yellow yam. You can use dasheen, you can use cocoa, right? But in the portion of this size here, this is a small piece of yucca. And we're gonna use sugar. I'm using coconut sugar. I'm gonna be using my 5-spice, but you can use nutmeg, ginger, whatever else you like. And also I'm gonna be using some cornmeal. Typically, some persons will use flour, but I'm using cornmeal. Also, I'm going to be using some fresh coconut. You can use coconut in the can if you want to, but again, I'm trying to add more flavor, so I'm using the fresh coconut. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to preheat our oven at I'd want to say maybe 400 degrees. Right, and I'm using my little tiny oven here. So, it's already on 400. Okay. All right. So then the next thing you want to do is come this way. All right. The next thing you want to do is get your blender going, unless you're going to be using a grater. And I'm going to blend my coconut real quickly. Right now, this is about maybe a cup and a half of dried coconut. Then I'm going to add some water to it. Just enough water to cover the coconut. And I'm going to blend until nice and smooth. Okay, once that's blended, I'm going to leave that there, right? Because I'm also going to blend my sweet potatoes. So I'm going to go over here now and peel my sweet potatoes. Hopefully you can see me. Okay, I'm going to sharp knife, and this is what the sweet potato looks like. You need about 2 medium-sized sweet potatoes. So I'm using a large one and a small one. That would be equal to that. And all you do is you get your knife and you go in like so, and hopefully you'll get a nice one. These are very hard to find. You'll find them, but it's hard to find one that is good all the way through. So if you're buying it, it's good to buy a couple of them. Make sure that you have on hand just in case it's bad. Now, if you grew this yourself, some persons would just put the skin in it and everything. It would make our pudding more nutritious. This is what it looks like. So this one was a good buy, right? I'm gonna peel the other one as well. And if you're using your big oven, you would put it on 400 as well. We're gonna start high and then go low. This one was also a good buy. All right, so I'm just gonna rinse them off. Put them aside. Now, next thing I'm gonna peel is my yucca or my sweet cassava. Now this is a tricky one if you're not used to it because the skin is very tough. You wanna find a part that's not too tough. This looks like it's gonna be a not too bad one. Just go around in circle like this. Get the skin off. Now you can grate these if you want to. If you have a blender with the grate setting, you can do that. Make sure you're going under and picking the skin up because as you can see, the skin is very thick. So make sure you're getting up all that. It's very tough, so be prepared. So this one was a good one as well. I'm gonna rinse that. And then I'm gonna go over here, back to my blender, and I'm gonna cut it up in the blender. Blender's got a lot of goodies on the inside here. I hope you're able to see. Just gonna cut it up in the blender. All right. Still not able to see. Let's put it right here. You can cut it smaller if you want, but this will do. Very fibrous, a lot of fiber. If I had the time, I would grate it because I do prefer the texture of the pudding when it comes out, when it's grated. So no, you're gonna put it in the blender, but you don't want to add too much liquid, right? If any. So you're just gonna kind of pulse it until you get it to like a grated consistency. Right? Pulse it. You're trying not to put too much liquid in there. So I'm gonna get my little thing here and pull. I'm just gonna check to make sure. And while you're doing this, the coconut is getting processed even more, right? So I'm gonna check, make sure that it's blended and there's no small pieces in there. Very good. Then what I'm gonna do is then cut my sweet potato, put it in this blender. Okay, I'm gonna cut into my sweet potato. This is what we have to do. Now, sweet potato, when it cooks up nice and soft. So does the yucca, the sweet cassava. So giving it a chop, rough chop will be okay. And if you notice, I haven't added any more liquid, okay? And I don't intend to. This is why the orange sweet potato doesn't work. Oh, and as a matter of fact, there are two red skin sweet potatoes with white flesh. Preferably you want to use these with the rough red skin, because it's a white flesh potato, but it's more drier when it's cooked up. All right, you want to stick to that one if that's the one you can find. So we're gonna blend her Use my tuggy thing here. Okay guys, so here I'm adding a half of a stick of butter, room temperature, grass-fed if you can find it, and a half a cup of coconut sugar. Then I can now add my cornmeal, which was about a cup of the coarse grind cornmeal, 2 tablespoons of Psyllium husks, and literally a pinch of pink salt. Then I added a half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and a half a teaspoon of 5 spice. If you can find the aluminum-free baking powder, that would be best. Then I made sure that I combined everything until I got a breadcrumb consistency or texture, making sure that the butter is evenly distributed through the cornmeal and sugar. Then I added the contents of my blender. If there are little chunks of sweet potato or cassava, don't worry about it. It's gonna cook up and still be nice and tender. So I combined everything very well, making sure that the butter is well distributed throughout. Then I added a tablespoon of rose water, combined that as well. Then I greased my container with some butter. Up the sides, the bottom, greased it real heavily. And then I just fill her up and smooth the top over just a little bit. Oven is already preheated over here on 400. I'm gonna put it in. And the setting goes up to, what is this, 60 seconds. And we're gonna need to bake this for about an hour and a half. So we're gonna leave her for an hour on 400 and then go from there. I'll come back and let you know what I do next. I'm gonna clean up. Okay guys, so in this little container I have 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and a tablespoon of coconut sugar. I place it on top of the oven where it's nice and hot and allowed it to melt, and I just stirred it. Now I'm pouring it on top of the pudding, and I'm just gonna spread it all over the top after about an hour of baking, and then I'm gonna let it bake for another hour on 350. Guys, so our potato pudding has been out the oven and it has had a whole night to cool down, and this is what it looks like. And as you can see, someone went in there already. So I'm going to cut a little slice. Something I forgot to tell you guys too, all these things in here, 1, 2, 3 of them, those are bay leaves. I stuck them in there while they were in the oven. I forgot to do that on camera, so I'm just going to take just a little sliver. So it's still a little soft, but because of the cornmeal, as time goes on, it's gonna harden. That's the beauty about this thing here. It's soft, but after all, it is a pudding, right? It's a pudding. It smells so good. And that extra sweetness on top from the butter and the sugar, coconut coming through, sweet potato, and the rose water. I hope you try this recipe, guys. And if you know how to make sweet potato pudding, I hope you make some. It is a comfort food. Until the next video, God bless. Bye.